understand that they are always using hypnosis. They use self-hypnosis from the time they're very small all the way through until every day. Every thought that we're having, we are teaching ourselves to believe something. We started doing it when we were small with core beliefs that we didn't even know from people that we were watching or ways they were treating us. And so from that we've created limiting beliefs. We've created very good beliefs. Most of what we do with self-hypnosis, though, it can be pretty damaging. We think we can't do things, we compare ourselves, and those are things that will bring us down. And so I teach people how to practice self-hypnosis in a way that brings them back up and helps them to become aware of the old ways that they established thinking.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now you're also a holistic massage therapist. Now what does that entail? Because I'm familiar with massages, but exactly what is a holistic massage?
Well, with holistic massage, it brings everything into it. So when I'm working with a client, I'm looking at how is their body functioning? Are they sleeping well? Are they eating well? What's going on? A lot of times I'll find that clients, they're just not eating the way they need to be eating. They're only eating once a day, or they're eating late at night because of their schedules. They're barely sleeping. They're really stressed out. So we look at all of those different things, and we take a look and see, is there something that they need? Do they need probiotics and supplements and nutrients for their eating? Do they need to take a look at their eating plan? Do we have to create a plan for them? And so we look at eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, making sure they're getting enough water. Sometimes people can be drinking too much water and deplete their body. The other thing we take a look at, are there other limiting beliefs they've got going on that are having them do poor behaviors and poor habits that are blocking them from getting where they want to be. So we look at everything. We look at the mind, the body, the spirit, and we take a look at what needs to happen, and then we work on where the client wants to work. So I go in the direction they want to go in. No matter what I think they need to do, I take their lead. I say that they're the driver and I'm the GPS.
Wonderful. Now, where does the Christian faith come into these methods?
Well, it depends on my client. Some of them, it doesn't come in at all. I let them know that I'm a Christian coach, and we can start the session with prayer, and we can end the session with prayer. That's actually what I would like to do, because our faith can be stronger than us in our weakest moments, and we're going to disappoint ourselves, and other people will disappoint us. That's just the way it's going to happen. But within our faith, we can pull ourselves up. And so that's what I like to do. There are some clients that say, no, I don't really want anything about faith involved, and then I respect that, but I let them know that I will pray for them at the start of the session, and I pray for them throughout the time that I work with them, and maybe even after. I feel like we have to rely on God, we have to rely on our faith, and even if someone else's faith is not mine, I respect where they're at, and so they never feel like I'm judging them or trying to change them or shift them. They feel really good, and they feel like they are strengthening every aspect of themselves.
Now, what was the turning point in your life that made you think, I want to do this for a career? This can be my life, this job.
That's a good question. I would say it was actually a build-up to it, and I didn't know it. I have suffered with panic, anxiety, feelings of not good enough. I was a child of child abuse, physically, emotionally, sexually, and I ended up in foster care, and then out of that I decided I wanted to help kids in foster care, and I did, and then I helped people that were homeless, and then I helped domestic violence, and then I helped young adults in foster care, and I helped them learn to be advocates and to fight for what was right and help them speak to the right people who would help them and reach out. But by the time I hit 30s, I was still suffering with a lot of these same fears and anxieties and thoughts. And so finally I just said, I need something else. I've done therapy, I've done personal development, I've spent thousands, I've got my MBA, and yet I still feel so small and not good enough compared to these other people all around me. And so I said, I'm going to look into hypnotherapy. And I didn't. For 20 years I was terrified of it because the church said it's about mind control and it's about letting spirits into your body, and I was terrified of that. I saw the movie Exorcist when I was very little, and I was not going to allow any spirits into my body. But I began researching it, and in my 30s research was different about hypnotherapy. And there was a lot of pastors that were even using hypnosis, a lot of therapists that were using hypnosis. And my foster dad shared with me a book that was called Many Minds, Many Masters. And that was the shift that said, here's a therapist who was not even intending on working with this person in the way that the hypnosis went, but it did. And they were a scientist, and they were blown away, and they researched and found it was just something that helps people. It helps them kind of get a little bit deeper into their own understanding about themselves. That was it. And so then I went to go see a hypnotherapist myself. And within a matter of, I'd say, 5 years, my life is completely different. It changed along the way. It was always changing as I was practicing the hypnosis on myself. I was learning it, and then I began doing all the training, all the courses, everything I need to do to practice it. I was practicing under a great trainer. And then I started seeing great shifts in my own life, even more. I don't have the struggle with anxiety or panic or stress that I used to. It still comes up. Obviously, we're not going to get rid of it. It's there to help push us forward, which I've also learned. But I've been able to become peaceful with my thinking, understanding that I'm an amazing person and knowing it, not just trying to make it up. And I'm able to now know that I want to share this gift with other people for the rest of my life in one way or another.
And it's such a great gift to give back. Well, Tammy, it's been wonderful having you on the show. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been my honor.
It's been a blast. If you guys would like to know more about Tammy, feel free to look her up at her website, www.atouchthatgivesback.com. You can shoot her an email at tammyworkman@atouchthatgivesback.com or a phone call at 954-657-3407. I'm Dylan Moran. You're listening to Empire Broadcasting.